Was the intensity naturally ratcheted up because of the shoulder pads, you think? Or did you have to do that a little bit?
No, I think anytime the first day the guys put their shoulder pads on, they get a little excited, and I think that's part of it.
Well, did you learn? It's so early still, and not even a full pass. Did you learn anything differently with the pads on line play-wise or anything?
It's hard to tell, I that stuff, especially the line play and the intricacies of the line play, it's a little easier once I get a chance to look at the film. I thought it was a physical practice. We've got to assess our discipline and how we're playing. There was a few flags from interior flags that we got to make sure our hands are in the right place, that we're not getting some hands to the face, and our hands aren't wide and holding guys and different things. So assessing our discipline of how we play internally is something that I want to really assess looking at the film.
So in history, when you've used the referees and the officials during practice, fall practices and whatnot, have you noticed that that's been able to help you guys in terms of maybe limiting some of the issues?
Well, I think it's helpful because they can supply us with information as far as what we're doing or how we're doing things or what techniques we're using. And if a guy has a tendency to be a DB has a tendency to be somebody who might be a grabber, when you get 2 or 3 flags thrown on you for grabbing for defensive holding, that should help change the bad habit of holding a guy. So those are the types of things that help us. And for me, especially if they're Pac-12 officials, I like bringing them in because I want them to get practice of officiating full speed football, and so it's their first time isn't just when we show up August 31st.
Tanagawa was considered one of your pretty mobile linemen before. How is his mobility now?
I think he looks pretty good. I think he looks good. He feels great. I know that. I asked him about it today again, and he feels good. Really, all the ACL guys. Deontay, Jesse, Tanagawa, they've all moved good. I think Jamora played the most extensively of any of the practices today as well. So all signs are pointing to those guys are back to their normal, whatever their normal was prior to this. I think they're back to normal.
Have you ever had officials tell you that maybe that's too fast and you guys need to slow it down because we can't catch up with you?
The only time that could occur is on substitutions. When if we sub somebody, they're going to hold us a little bit to give the defense an opportunity to substitute at the same time. So, we intentionally go as fast as we possibly can go in practice, knowing that when we get into the game, it's going to be slowed down a little bit more, and that should be actually easier for us, quite honestly. So we purposely go as fast as we can go, and we want to be faster than that tomorrow.
What legacy do you think Trufant left in the secondary, and does it manifest itself out here yet?
Well, I think that the biggest thing Desmond left with us is work ethic and preparation. He was a tremendous worker. He really wanted to master his trade. He prepared mentally, physically, emotionally, and I think he left that blueprint for our younger players to say, hey, if you want to be good, if you want to be an all-conference performer, if you want to be a first-round draft pick, here's the blueprint. You work really hard in the off season. You study film. You work at your craft. You study your techniques. You work on your techniques. You stay after practice and work ball drills, and all of those little things add up to being a really good player. So I think he left us with that.
Do you see anybody who's Trufant-esque in their preparation so far in that section?
I think those guys are all preparing really well. It's day 3 of camp, but they should be. They're working hard. From first glance, it felt like the secondary had a better day today than maybe yesterday. So that was positive.
So with Ryan McDaniel, it was noticeable he must have dropped 20-some pounds from spring to now. Was there a specific plan in mind for him?
Well, we just felt like he had some bad weight on him. Sometimes being big doesn't necessarily mean that it's all good weight. And so we really tried to shed him of his bad weight to maybe get him a little bit faster, and then build his muscle back up. So I don't think this will be his final playing weight in his career. I think we'll see another 10 pounds get put back on him, but I think it'll be a really good 10 pounds.
Have you seen anything from him so far in his running that gives you confidence that he's going to be the guy you think he can be?
I think so. I'm hopeful of that. Still a young player, but I think he has his moments where you notice him. That's for sure.
Can you talk about Siler Miles? Is he kind of separated himself from that 2-3 combination with him and Lindquist? And what have you seen out of him coming into this year?
I would agree with you there. I think Siler has had 3 really good days. I mean, it's almost like the lights turned on for him. He's got a great feel for the offense. He's anticipating throws. He's throwing the ball accurately. He appears to be in really good command and control when he's on the field. I've been impressed.
I know it's still early, but with the punting game and the kicking game, I know you want to get Coons away from the triple duty.
Yeah.
Are you feeling confident that you can do that?
Well, we'll see. I mean, we got to get into where we're just installing our protections and things right now. And so I'll, again, by next Tuesday, I'll have a much better feel on when it gets into those types of decisions and kind of where we're headed as a program. But we're still just getting some fundamentals and techniques and things getting done. But I feel like we have enough capable bodies. It's who can do it consistently, and so we'll work with these guys.
Do you feel like the team and the coaches and everyone are kind of off the awe factor now of it feels a little more normal practicing in here?
I hope so. I mean, I am. Not that I don't appreciate it. It's an amazing place, but I think it was really great for us today to come out of the tunnel for the first time, which is always something special for us, and so I appreciated that, and I think the guys did too. And we're obviously not here tomorrow. We're down at VMAC, and then when we come back Friday and we'll be in full pads, I'm sure that'll be another one that kind of gets them all excited again. But pretty soon it'll become the norm, and they'll get comfortable in here, and that's why it's important to get in here and start practicing in here early in training camp.
I know it's a little early, but between DeMaurier Schenkfeld and Kaysen Williams, do you kind of see any similarities from when Kaysen was a freshman to DeMaurier now?
Well,
is that fair to make? Is that a fair statement to make?
They're similar, I think, in stature in that just their height and weight. And Kaysen was actually heavier when he first came here than when he is today. I think he's a little sleeker now, runs better and more precise. They both have great ball skills on the 50-50 balls when the ball's up in the air to go make plays. And DeMaurier had a big catch there in the first team period on the East Field there in a one-on-one setting. And so they're very similar that way. Similar to where Kaysen was, DeMauria's got a long way to go. The technique, fundamental standpoint, and the details of the offense and things of that nature. But he definitely is a guy that we have high hopes for as his career moves on.
You mentioned the VMAC tomorrow. What do you have planned?
Oh, we're just practicing there. We're getting on the grass. When you look at our schedule, 4 of our 5 road games this year are on grass, and so unfortunately for us, we don't have the luxury of a grass field to practice on, and we've got a pretty good relationship with the Hawks, and they're allowing us to go on over there and practice there a couple times in training camp just to get some work on grass, just to get a little bit of a comfort level for our guys.
Is that something you'll do those game weeks of those road games?
Potentially, we're kicking that around. School is a little bit of an issue
Tiny bit.
at that point. But when training camp, we can do it, and the first few weeks of the season we can do it, and we don't want to infringe upon them either. They've got their own work to do. We tried to tie it in training camp when they had their preseason games, so we weren't bumping into them and getting them out of their routine, and we'd never want to do that. But really gracious of them to offer up the field to us and allow our guys to get out there and work.